bop boom. Flip flop hop bop, weedy my boom. Boppity doppity romper room. Hey diddle 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 dum diddy doo. You be a doobie. Ding dong hop bop, hey daddy loo. Tip tap titter pat, ratty cat too. Rooty toot timble loosey loo. Boppity doppity romper room. Romper room and friends.
Okay, on the bench today we have a President McKinley, and something you usually don't see on my bench. The customer just sent it with me just to make sure that it played well with the radio, so a little tiny amplifier there. Now this comes all the way from Canada. Man, there just mustn't be any radio techs left on the planet, I don't know. Over the years I've gotten radios from Canada, England, Germany, Australia. I've done a couple from Africa. Never done any from Mexico. I guess they got plenty of guys, because there are lots of people in Mexico that do, CB is popular down there, so I guess there's lots of radio techs down there. But yeah, so anyhow, this came from Canada. A customer, I think he did it himself. He did the clarifier modification on this. Said he followed my video that I did on how to unlock the clarifiers on these radios, and he did it correctly. But he did notice that once he did the modification, the clarifier was no longer centered. And I pointed that out in the video. Once you unlock the clarifier, the radio will need an alignment. So that's the main reason this radio was sent in. He just wanted a good alignment done to it. So that has been done. Otherwise, there had been 2 electrolytic caps replaced in this. They'd been upgraded. I'm not sure if he did that himself. I'm kind of not sure, just the way I read the note. Where in the heck is it? It's out of arm's reach. But just the way it's worded almost makes it sound like maybe somebody else put those in. I replaced them. One was obviously used. Well, I don't want to say it was no name, but it was about as close as you can get to no name, Jen or Jan or something like that, Chinese cap. But it was used. That was the biggest problem with that one. The other one looked like it was probably new, but again, that one literally had no name on it whatsoever. So I installed good high quality caps in place of those 2. Other than that, yeah, the clarifier's been unlocked. Rest of the radio's bone stock. So it's set to do factory power. It's now on frequency. Main thing I wanted to do this video on to show was these amplifiers. I try to tell people that I deal with, if you're going to use an amplifier, make sure you use a low-pass filter. And I want to show why you want to use a low-pass filter. These things do not have filters in them. So what comes out of the radio may be clean, but when it comes out of that little splatter box right there, it's far from clean. I want to show that. So the radio is attached to the amplifier. The amplifier is attached, actually that cable goes to a bird directional coupler. The directional coupler, the output from that then goes into the watt meter right there and into a 5,000 watt dummy load. The sample port off of the directional coupler goes to a splitter combiner that then feeds the oscilloscope and the spectrum analyzer there. So I have the spectrum analyzer set up for a very large span. Left side of the screen is 0 megahertz. Right side of the screen is 400 megahertz. So we've got a huge swath, 400 megahertz of the RF spectrum there. Actually, the whole way from nothing, audio spectrum, all the way up to 400 megahertz. So the little amplifier down here is turned off at the moment. I will key the microphone, and we can see not much down here. You can, I think the white, the text is a little bit in the way there. Let me just zoom in on that actually. Let's see a little bit better. So we can see we have the carrier there on the left-hand side, and you can, if you watch the noise, so everything else down on the bottom there, you can see it picks up a little bit when I key the microphone. So I'll unkey just a little bit. There's a little bit of noise there. That's a very clean radio, though. Hardly anything we don't want coming out of the radio coming out. There is a little bit of harmonics there, but very low. Now, I'm going to zoom back out here. So you can actually, I'll key the microphone, reach down here with my other hand, and turn it on. Oh my God, what in the heck happened to this poor thing? And let's zoom back in again. And I'll turn the amplifier off. So there's off, and there's on. And wow. So, yeah, what do you say? When I say splatterbox, that's what I'm talking about, people. It amplifies your signal. But the problem is, a lot of harmonics are generated inside of that thing. Anytime you amplify a signal, you're going to get that. You're going to have harmonics created. There's no filtering network inside of that amplifier. So all of that junk gets out on air unless you're using a low-pass filter. You can get little small low-pass filters. They don't cost that much, people. Really, they don't. You can get big ones that are actually, honestly, aren't that expensive. But that's why I always tell people, if you're going to use a splatterbox amp, you need a low-pass filter so it's not a splatterbox. Because we have the fundamental frequency, which is the frequency we want, but there's the second. What's interesting is the third harmonic. Now it's bouncing around a little bit. Actually, what I should do is just turn the mic gain down. Get in the menu here. Okay, now I've got the mic gain down the whole way. That way it's not bouncing around while I'm talking. But fundamental, the frequency we want. What's interesting, though, is it's not the second harmonic that's the largest peak after the fundamental. It's actually the third. So the third harmonic's the largest harmonic. But yeah, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th. This thing has measurable harmonics out to the 11th harmonic. Wow. That's just... yeek. And turning the power... now the McKinley has adjustable RF power from the front panel from the factory. That's the way they're designed. So you might be thinking, well, maybe I'm overdriving it. No, I'm not. That's actually, I have the radio set to output a 2-watt carrier right now. So I'm going to turn the power down the whole way. That's as low as it goes, folks. Matter of fact, we look down here at the radio. I've got, you can see it's flashing RF. Only one bar there. So, if I turn it up. Oh, shoot, I must have unkeyed. Don't have the mic plugged in the whole way. Let me key the microphone. Push RF power. So there's down the whole way, and yeah, I don't want to go up the whole way, but there's down the whole way. When we go back up to the spectrum analyzer, yeah, you can still see all of that junk still there. Then if I turn it up to where 2 watt, oh, darn it, power. Oh, actually, okay, so I had it there. Yeah. So, yeah, definitely. That's bad. Like I said, that is 11, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or is that 10? I'm trying to look through the viewfinder. Let me look at off viewfinder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, 10, you can measure his measurable harmonics out to the 10th harmonic. Still, 11th, 10th, even measurable in the second harmonic is not good, but, wow. So, just word to the wise, if you're going to use one of these little things, they get the job done. The problem is all the other stuff that goes out the antenna jack on one of these things. So, yeah, if you're going to use one, do the radio world, your next door neighbor's garage door, your neighbor's television, or their baby monitor, because nowadays there's all kinds of RF stuff. Other little two-way radios, and if one of those fundamental or one of those harmonic frequencies coming out of this happens to interfere with something like that, you might be getting a nasty gram or a visit from Uncle Sam. Well, maybe not in the case of this customer. That would be whatever the regulating authority is in Canada. But like I say, it's rare nowadays that Uncle Sam does anything, other than when there's a complaint. But stuff like this is guaranteed to get you a complaint if you just happen to be at the right location at the right time, and somebody's using, like I say, a baby monitor or some other type of RF device that just happens to fall on one of the frequencies that this thing is spewing out in the harmonics, and it interferes with their device. They can file a complaint, and you'll be the one at fault, and you're going to be the one getting the nasty gram. They're going to be you're going to be the one losing your equipment if it gets confiscated. So, yeah, just like I say, word to the wise. I just wanted to show that. Like I say, you don't usually see this kind of stuff on my bench. It didn't need any work or anything like that. So, I figured, yeah, I can hook it up. The guy just wanted to make sure it, like I say, plays well. He basically wanted to know what power level he needed to set this radio at, on the scale there to use this. I've done that. I've wrote that down for him. So there you go. President McKinley with a little, I don't even know what the heck model is that, an RM Italy KL203P. So I guess that's one of the more modern ones. I don't think they used to have the P designator on the end of the part number there, or model number. So I guess that's a newer version. But so I hope that helps you out and maybe helps keep somebody out of trouble.